And we are in for a treat today. So please welcome our next speaker, Jackie Jones. With over 30 years' experience in innovation and technology, Jackie is the founder and CEO of Way We Do, a process management platform that has been helping businesses create resilience and efficiency since 2013. Today, she'll be sharing her insights on how to create stability in an unpredictable world. Please put your hands together for her presentation, The Human in the Loop, Activating Your Management Systems for Certainty in People, Automation, and AI Autonomy. Jackie, to you and good luck.
Thank you so much, Greg. Has anyone heard of the term AI slop or work slop? Can you put your answers in the chat? We'll see if anyone has heard of that. We've had a few people saying no. I saw some people shaking their heads, and then some people have. But for those that don't know what it is essentially AI-generated work that appears polished, but it lacks real substance. And there's a real hidden cost associated with work slop. 40% of workers said they have received work slop in the last month. On average, work slop is delivered 15% of the time, and it takes people almost 2 hours to resolve each incident of work slop. Work slop incidents translate into an average cost of $186 per month per employee, and over 10,000 people, that equates to $9 million a year. Beyond wasted time and real financial costs, it strains team dynamics and relationships. So 54% of people feel annoyed, 46% feel frustrated, 38% feel confused, and 22% feel offended. Employees who receive work slop, they perceive colleagues as less capable, less creative, and less trustworthy, and they are less likely to want to work with them again. So work slop is the fastest way to becoming rejected in your workplace. So who has heard of the Deloitte AI report scandal? It was the core issue of the scandal was about AI hallucination and integrity breach. Deloitte delivered a major report to the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations, and it was full of errors, including over 20 mistakes in the footnotes, non-existent academic sources and titles, and as well as fictitious quotes. They were hallucinated by AI, which Deloitte initially downplayed, and it took them over a month to correct the report. And their client, the department, was frustrated, saying that my people should not be double checking a third party's provider's footnotes. This led to reputational damage for Deloitte, with the scandal going viral globally. They ended up paying back 100,000 K, and it's also led to other firms stating that they have processes for checking their AI generated work. So they're all going out to the media saying that they're doing the right thing by their clients. And some are now questioning AI's value for efficiency and productivity savings, because people now need to triple check their work before delivering it to a client. And ultimately, AI is not a shortcut for completing the underlying work, and that human connection and judgment remain essential. In addition to this, insurers are starting to identify what they call silent AI. These are risks that exist but are neither clearly included nor excluded in policy wording. And so they're starting to ask questions like, did the professional commit a negligent act, or did the failure lay with AI? Or if AI-generated content leads to a client loss, is it covered? The insurer's response is now including stricter underwriting, new exclusions, as well as specialised coverage for AI. For the first time in history, there are 5 distinct generations working side by side. There's Gen Alpha, Gen Z, which are the Zoomers, Millennials, Gen X, and the Boomers. And we may all have our own generational way of working and our preferences for work. However, collectively, in regards to AI, we are all now called Generation T, and that's T for transition. And it's because we're transitioning to a new way of working. The potential for AI disruption is different for each industry. Bain & Company's research found that every industry will have some level of augmentation and transformation. And then for industries like technology, media, telecommunications, healthcare and life sciences, services, we will also have parts of our industry being revolutionized as well. There's a lot of fear that AI will replace humans. However, experts are saying that we're really about 10 years away from AGI, which is also known as artificial general intelligence. And this chart represents that AI has a long way to go with achieving true human intelligence across 10 cognitive domains. AI scientists are now saying that the LLMs, or large language models, will not get they won't get us to AGI, and that's because a fundamental new piece of technology is needed. The LLMs of today are useful, and businesses will continue to invest into them. However, to make effective use of the LLMs, organizations really need to know their business processes. Adopting AI is firstly all about mindset. There are two types of mindsets. There's pilots and there's passengers. Pilots represent 28% of the workforce. They are optimistic about the future of work and they're confident in experimenting with AI. And then there are the passengers, and they represent 72% of the workforce. And they feel skeptical and powerless regarding AI, and they tend to see AI as a threat and they avoid experimentation. Managers are the biggest lever for shifting employee mindsets about AI, and their number one job is to build more pilots. When a manager adopts a pilot mindset themselves, their team is 3 times more likely to adopt a pilot mindset as well. AI helps managers to offload non-value adding tasks, it helps them to focus on human work and coach their team on agency and optimism. The other side of AI is business process management, which is what Way We Do specialises in. Managers need to learn business process management skills to help them implement AI successfully in their organisation. Business process management is made up of, first of all, mapping your processes, understanding your roles and responsibilities and your resources, understanding your value adding and non-value adding activities and their cadence, so how often they are done throughout the year, and how they fit within an overall value chain and what their outcomes will be. And that's in order to produce a consistent, reliable result. The second part of business process management is robotic process automation, also known as RPA, and this is a deterministic programmatic way of automating a process. And then the third part of BPM is process autonomization, and this is the AI probabilistic way of automating a process. AI processes are a strategic choice, and it's not a replacement for people for replacing people task or traditional automation. So you will choose what is the right resource and for each step of your process. The biggest shift is not only adopting traditional process automation, but also incorporating process autonomization. Process automation focuses on how to do a task following predefined rules, steps, and procedures, and they're excellent for efficiency and consistency in predictable tasks. Process autonomization is where a system, you tell a system what needs to be achieved, and the system figures it out itself. It's designed to handle unpredictable and complete tasks or complex tasks that need human judgment. So with autonomous processes, your brief will incorporate 3 attributes, including your goals, which is your why, the resources you will provide, so that the with what, and any hard or soft constraints of what not to do. However, with this amazing technology comes reliability and explainability challenges. AI is unpredictable by design, and there are a range of risks you need to be aware of. AI makes decisions in a black box, so it's almost impossible to trace decision steps. It's also open to fraud, favoritism, and manipulation. On screen here is a hybrid client acceptance process in Way We Do, which is incorporating human steps, traditional automation, and AI autonomization. This is called a swimline diagram with each lane of the process of who needs to complete the task. After a human meets the client and they decide to proceed, traditional automation then sends a welcome email with the next steps. The client then uploads their ID and documentation, which again the traditional automation will verify. Once verified, the AI will determine a risk or conduct a risk assessment by taking all the notes and the human and documentation provided by the client into context. And then the human will then review the recommendations by the AI and making a final decision based on their own judgment. So this hybrid process uses manual steps for empathy and accountability, automation for reliability and rule-based efficiency, and autonomization for complex goal-driven judgment. At Way We Do, we help businesses achieve certainty, consistency, and compliance. We have a range of business process management capabilities, solutions, and professional assistance to implement streamlined processes in most organizations. And we have customers in 25 countries, and they range from small business to large enterprise. And they use Way We Do to implement and maintain their management systems and train their teams on their core work processes. So if you would like to learn more about Way We Do and business process management, I would love to have a one-to-one with you. My booking page is here on screen. And so thank you for listening, everyone. And are there any questions?